Hello, welcome back to the channel. So Endgame is in kind of like a weird spot right now because we have plenty of options. You know, we have Forgotten Hall, we have Pure Fiction, and we have Apocalyptic Shadow. I don't really count Simulated Universe since it feels more like its own thing, you know? But at the same time, it also just feels like there isn't enough at the same time, or it's more so like the ceiling is too high, I guess is how you could say it. And I think that is for a couple of reasons. But one is that they all feel way too similar to one another. Now they definitely do have their differences. Like, you know, Apocalyptic Shadow is way more like boss based, and Pure Fiction is a lot more about like AoE. But like the goal of all of them is kind of just the same. You know, kill the enemies in a certain amount of time. And to be honest, I'm kind of sick of that format and kind of just want something different, which is also why I enjoy Simulated Universe a lot, since it always feels like they're trying to do something new with it. I mean, even in the upcoming patch, there is a whole new mode for Divergent Universe, which I am very excited for personally, and I will probably be playing a lot of. Another problem is that a lot of the time, what characters are good is really dependent on what buffs are available, and like what the enemies are, which you know usually go with whatever character is out, which is probably to encourage people to pull for the character more, but I feel like it's just kind of annoying more than anything. At the same time, yeah, that feels very restrictive, since like, if a character doesn't interact with the current buffs, it is way harder to use them, especially in something like Pure Fiction, which I think probably uses the buffs the most. What I would suggest is to have have a wider range set of buffs, like so more characters can utilize them, and also maybe have like a selection of like 3 different like enemy sets that it could be, instead of it just being like set to like one side and the other, you know what I mean? Like one side could have a selection of 3 different enemies, and then the other side could have a selection of 3 different enemies, and then you can pick whichever one fits your team the most, you know? I feel like that could help diversity more, which, you know, could also be one way to buff older characters and make them more viable, since Hoyo did say that they want to make older characters better. I mean, one other problem is just that, like, the enemies just have way too much health now, like, and them getting more health doesn't make it harder. It just makes it more annoying, you know? But anyway, one thing that I didn't realize until actually making this video is that we haven't gotten a new endgame mode since 2.3, which is pretty long ago. Now, I don't think that's that much of a problem, since we have gotten a bunch of stuff for like Simulated Universe. Like, you know, we got Divergent Universe, we got Unknowable Domain, we got a rework to Pure Fiction, and now we are getting that new expansion for Divergent Universe in the next patch as well. So it's not like we haven't gotten anything, but at the same time, all of these are like expansions on things that we already have, right? Like, they are like whole new things that we can experience, like Pure Fiction or Apocalyptic Shadow, where they're kind of just like the same thing but slightly different, you know? Now, the question I would ask is, does StarRail need an endgame mode? Because, like, one, what would you even do besides what we already have? Like, maybe you could do a raid mode, but that's kind of what Apocalyptic Shadow is. And I feel like, if anything, I would rather them try to improve what we already have, instead of just adding another one to the pile, you know what I mean? Now, one thing that I do think would be cool if they want to add something would be an endless mode, whether it be for, like, Simulated Universe or just its own separate thing. Just kind of like a mode to see how far you can get would be cool, since it would encourage people to, like, you know, get high scores and things like that. I think that would add some sort of replayability. I feel like the main reason why Endgame is so much more important in, like, than some of the other games Ohio has is because, like, the main thing in StarRail is combat. Like, yes, the story is definitely like a big part of it, but like besides that, like, there isn't really that much like exploration like Genshin or something, and there isn't really that much like side things like Zenless has. So like most of the content is combat. Like, you're basically just doing combat most of the time, which, you know, makes sense because it's a turn-based game. But I think it starts to become a problem when it kind of just feels like you're just doing the same thing, just slightly different, you know? But at the same time, I don't think we need a new mode just yet. I would rather them, you know, like I said, fix the modes that we already have. But I do think in a couple of patches it could be necessary, since I do feel like the new modes are starting to get a little stale, you know? But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.